to get my back blown out in peace. You think I got time to talk about a divorce that's a year old?
The city was buzzing with whispers, the kind of whispers that ride on phone screens, rush through social feeds, and ignite conversations in quiet coffee shops. At the center of it all was Teyana Taylor, fierce, stylish, and strong, but now carrying something she couldn't hide any longer. Her shocking pregnancy news had already set the internet ablaze, but nobody expected what would happen next. Not Teyana, not Aaron, not even the fans who thought they'd seen it all. When the first photos of Teyana's baby bump hit the blogs, people gasped, argued, and speculated. Some swore it had to be Amon's child, desperate to believe in the love story they had followed for years. Others pointed fingers at Aaron Pierre, the British actor whose presence in Teyana's life had become impossible to ignore. But as the headlines swirled, Aaron himself was suddenly shoved into the spotlight in a way he wasn't ready for. It all began outside a New York restaurant. Teyana had been spotted with her hand resting protectively over her stomach, her smile calm, but her eyes full of tension. Within hours, cameras were everywhere. Paparazzi camped outside her building, reporters swarmed her team, and social media detectives dissected every move. But it wasn't Teyana who cracked first, it was Aaron. The night was cold, the kind of night where your breath floats in the air, and Aaron stepped out of a car wearing a black hoodie pulled low. He probably thought he could slip by unnoticed, but the flashbulbs exploded like lightning. Aaron, is the baby yours?" One photographer yelled, shoving forward with his camera. Another voice cut through the chaos. "Are you running from the truth, Aaron? What about Amon?" Aaron's head snapped up, his jaw tight, his steps quickening. At first he tried to ignore them, weaving through the crowd, but the questions grew harsher, sharper, crueler. "Did you break up their marriage? Is Teyana leaving Amon for you?" Someone shouted, and that was when Aaron panicked. He bolted. Not a brisk walk, not a calm retreat. He literally ran. The footage spread online within minutes. Grainy, shaky clips of Aaron sprinting down the block, paparazzi chasing after him like wolves. The internet went wild. Memes popped up overnight. Aaron as Forrest Gump, Aaron as the Road Runner, Aaron tripping over headlines he couldn't escape. Fans laughed, but others saw something darker. "Why is he running if he's innocent?" One tweet read. "A guilty man always runs," another said. But behind those viral clips was a deeper story, one that was tearing apart everyone involved. Teyana, now carrying a child, was caught in the middle of a storm she didn't ask for. Amon, the man who had once been her rock, was furious. And Aaron? He wasn't just running from paparazzi, he was running from a truth that was threatening to consume him. Let's rewind. Teyana and Amon's marriage had already been rocky, full of ups and downs splashed across the internet for everyone to see. Rumors of fights, quiet separations, reconciliations, people never knew what to believe. But through it all, Teyana kept working, performing, being the mother her daughters needed. When Aaron entered the picture, many thought it was innocent. A work friendship, a connection born on set, two creatives vibing. But the whispers started small, like cracks in glass, before spreading wide. Now, with a baby on the way, those whispers had turned into screams. And Aaron's frantic run through the streets only added fuel to the fire. Inside her home, away from the cameras, Teyana was struggling. Friends said she would stare at her phone for hours, scrolling through comments, tears brimming in her eyes. She had always been tough, but the weight of the judgment was heavier than ever. And the worst part? The question of paternity was hanging in the air, unspoken but screaming at everyone. Who was the father? Amon had seen the video too. Aaron running, paparazzi chasing, and it broke him. Sources close to him claimed he collapsed into a chair, his hands pressed against his face, muttering over and over, "This can't be happening." For him, this wasn't just tabloid drama. It was his family, his daughters, his life. And the idea that another man could be tied to his wife in such a permanent way? It was unbearable. Meanwhile, Aaron was spiraling. That night after running from the paparazzi, he disappeared. His phone went silent. His team refused to comment, and fans speculated he had fled the country. He's guilty, That's why he's hiding, people wrote online. Others tried to defend him, saying he was just overwhelmed. But the damage was done. The image of him running would forever be etched into this messy saga. But here's where it gets darker. Days later, leaked footage surfaced. Footage from inside a private event weeks before the pregnancy news broke. In it, Aaron is seen standing close to Teyana, his hand brushing against hers, his lips leaning in to whisper something that makes her laugh. The chemistry was undeniable, the connection too real. Fans paused the video, analyzed their body language, and declared the truth. They're more than friends. That clip sent Iman over the edge. Insiders say he confronted Teyana, his voice breaking, his anger spilling out. "Tell me the truth," he demanded. "Is it his?" The fight was brutal, the kind of argument where silence feels like knives, where unanswered questions cut deeper than lies. Teyana, overwhelmed and exhausted, reportedly broke down in tears, unable to give the clear answer he needed. Meanwhile, the paparazzi weren't done. They followed Aaron everywhere, waiting for him to slip. And one night, they got their wish. Outside a hotel, a photographer cornered him. "Aaron, are you the father?" they shouted. This time, he didn't run. He froze. His lips parted, his eyes wide, and in that split second, the world saw everything.
Guilt, fear, pain.
He didn't have to say a word. His silence was louder than any confession. And then came the twist. Someone from Teyana's circle leaked another piece of information. She had gone to see a doctor alone, without Iman, without Aaron, quietly trying to protect her privacy. That detail broke fans' hearts. Here was a woman caught between love, betrayal, and the weight of the world, all while trying to prepare for a child who didn't ask for any of this. The story escalated into a full-blown media circus. News outlets debated it on air, gossip blogs dissected it, and fans picked sides.
Team Iman.
Team Aaron. Team Teyana. But the truth was, nobody really knew the whole story, except the people living it. And they were drowning in the chaos. As the pressure mounted, Aaron was spotted again. This time, not running, not hiding, but sitting on a park bench with his hood down, staring into the distance. A fan walked by, recording on their phone, and you could hear Aaron whisper under his breath, "I didn't mean for it to happen." That clip, only a few seconds long, spread like wildfire. To many, it sounded like a confession. To others, it was just a broken man speaking his truth. Teyana, meanwhile, finally broke her silence. In a late-night Instagram live, her eyes red, her voice shaking, she told fans, "Y'all don't know the half of it. Stop judging what you don't understand. I'm just trying to do what's best for my kids." The comment section exploded, hearts, tears, fire emojis, but the underlying tension remained. She hadn't said who the father was. And maybe that was the point. Maybe she wasn't ready to. Maybe the truth was too heavy, too painful, too final to say out loud. By now, Aaron's run from paparazzi had become a metaphor for everything. Running from responsibility, running from truth, running from a situation he never thought would spiral this far. But the reality is, you can only run so far before you have to stop and face what's chasing you. The question now isn't just about who the father really is. It's about what happens when the truth finally bursts out into the open. This family stands on the edge of a precipice, teetering between breaking apart and somehow finding a way to hold together. Will Teyana's family survive the storm that's coming? Can they navigate the pain and betrayal and still find a path forward? Will Iman, with all the hurt and confusion in her heart, ever find it within herself to forgive? Or will the wounds run too deep, leaving scars that can never fully heal? And what about Aaron? Will he rise to the occasion, owning his mistakes and stepping up for the people who need him most? Or will he shrink away into the shadows, fading from their lives and leaving them to pick up the pieces alone? Because one thing is painfully clear, this is no longer just a private family matter. The world is watching, the cameras are rolling, and everyone is waiting for the next chapter in this shocking, unfolding saga. Every glance, every word, every reaction is being dissected, replayed, and judged by a public hungry for answers. The pressure is immense, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Deep down, everyone involved knows the truth is a force unlike any other. When a secret this big finally crashes into the light, it doesn't just shake a family, it shakes the world. It challenges the way people see loyalty, love, and trust. It forces everyone to confront uncomfortable realities they would rather avoid. And as this story unfolds, one thing is certain: nothing will ever be the same again.